Actually, is the camera okay today? Yes, it is.
Going.
Slowly going live. Not too fast. We're taking off.
Do you remember when it kept having that ring of going live for ages, and then it would finally go on? Oh, like right now.
Yeah. Hey, welcome, guys. As you can see, we're clearly ready. We're
Just getting changed.
But welcome to another one of our live session in which we are going to be taking the time, actually a full hour, to help you plan your trip to New Zealand. You may not be planning a trip in the very near future, but you have plenty of time to plan the epic holiday to New Zealand or working holiday in New Zealand. Whatever you're planning, we're here to answer all your questions because we kind of are the experts of traveling in New Zealand. But Laura, why are we the experts?
Well, this is Robin and I'm Laura, and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide. And as Robin says, it pretty much covers everything from traveling on a couple of weeks road trip to a full year doing a working holiday. We answer all your questions, basically anything you can think of traveling in New Zealand. We have articles related to that on NZPocketGuide.com. But if you're not really into reading, because I know that is a lot to go through on that website, because we literally have thousands of articles, we do this Q&A session live on YouTube on every single Sunday, 8 a.m. New Zealand time. So you guys can come into the live chat and ask your questions about traveling in New Zealand directly to us, and we can answer them for you. But also throughout the week, we do also compile a list of questions we've received in the comments section of any of our YouTube videos. So if you do miss the live session, you can also put a comment in any one of our videos and we'll add that to the list to go through. But yeah, for times around the rest of the world, we do have a trusty board, which is always way out of reach for me to get, which is in the UK and France. That's on a Saturday evening at 9-10 p.m. In the USA, that's on a Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. EST, 1 p.m. PST. In India, that is bright and early on a Sunday morning at 1:30 a.m. And in Australia, that is also bright and early at around 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
All right. So, if you guys want to get started, go ahead, hit the live chat and ask us your questions. And we have Joshua Ulrich that says, hi, good morning, Joshua.
Hi.
How are you doing? Then we have Comas77 that says, yo, I'm French. J'aime ce que vous faites. Désolé. He likes what we're doing and he's sorry for his English. You didn't try to speak English right here. You just
Yo,
French.
I'm French is English.
That's true. Yo, I'm
That's
French.
a good start.
And Steve K says, good morning, or in USA where I am, good afternoon. How are you doing, Steve? All right, so it has been an eventful week in New Zealand and around the world, that's for sure. We did release a video giving you a big update on the current event a little bit earlier today, about like 5 or 6 hours ago. To be fair, it was uploading overnight. We were not awake.
We were not awake from this
1 a.m.
upload,
to
but
do
yeah.
that. But yeah, so we gave you a bit of updates. We may do another one next week or in the following week, just when things kind of stabilize here in New Zealand and there's a bit more announcements on where, how traveling in New Zealand is happening. We'll do that as well for you guys. Adil Zulkanai says, hi, I have work to residence visa, which says entry 16th of June 2020. What happened if I don't arrive? Adil, you need to contact Immigration New Zealand as soon as possible and tell them about your situation, and you will be advised what you can or cannot do. The thing is, Immigration New Zealand right now is overwhelmed with the massive amount of work, and they're not open right now as well as full staff because we are still on lockdown. So there is going to be a lot of delay and everything, and there may be a lot of visas which may be either extended or cancelled. So you have to talk with them and see how that works. And if you want more information about that, you can check out the video, literally the last video we posted on this channel when we go through the latest Immigration New Zealand announcement. So it was posted about 5 hours ago. So if you go on our channel, you literally look at the last video we sent. Ooh. Laura, do you want to read that?
You need to have a lemon drink.
A lemon drink.
All right. So we are at Joshua saying, I am in Levin, New Zealand. Cool. We have passed through Levin. It's a town on State Highway 1, one of the main highways through the North Island. So
all right.
Yeah.
So Kshitij Shadeva says, due to the current event, is it best to travel in December 2020 for honeymoon? So there is no information right now. As I was just saying, we released the video 5 hours ago with all the latest announcements. The Minister of Health of New Zealand has actually went in the news Monday, so on the 20th, so about a week ago, and he said that he doesn't see New Zealand reopening its border within the next 3 months. So already for 3 months, it's probably going to be closed. And we think that it will take until early next year to mid next year to actually fully reopen. So take that in consideration. We do not have a specific information. That's just all kind of gut feeling on that. So you may want to postpone your trip to New Zealand maybe a little bit longer. But, play it by ears. You don't need to book anything right now.
Yeah.
So just wait and see. I think that's the best approach right now.
Yeah.
Harjot Walia says, hey both, how are you? I am Harjot from India. I applied for my application for Winter College July intake. About lockdown and what you think, what chance of getting interviews? Harjot, probably the same answer right now. We did publish about 5 hours ago a video. So if you want to check the other video, we literally talked for about 17 minutes on the whole announcement from Immigration New Zealand. But for July intake, it's highly unlikely that you'll be able to get to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Again, that is not an official information. That's just all gut feeling. And this is based on an announcement from the Minister of Health of New Zealand that actually said on TV about a week ago that he doesn't see New Zealand opening its border within the next 3 months. He thinks that's not happening. And we think it's going to take until the end of the year to the middle of next year to have the border fully open again.
Yeah.
So it will depend on also individual agreements between countries. So depending on how your country is actually faring with the current crisis. So no information right now. But for July, that seems way too soon. So I don't think that's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about the bad news. And again, it's just my opinion. Contact Wintech and they'll tell you what they decided to do. Thomas says, je réapprends l'anglais. That means he's relearning English. So yeah, that's a fun place to do that. You can hear my broken Franglish. I don't think that's where you want to learn English, though. You may want to listen to just Laura. Steve says, I've got a cruise scheduled for November. What are the chances this will really happen? Steve, same answer.
Yeah.
We don't really know. No, November, it's a bit more, realistic. So that's what I was saying to Kshitij, right? December, there is a little bit more chance that's happening. So like kind of wait and see approach would be the best one. Steve, you were saying you were from the USA, right? So it kind of depends also how your country is faring. I think the way borders will reopen is like, if your country is doing good and there is no cases there, then, New Zealand may be like, you know what? It's fine, people can come. But if you have a country which has a big outbreak there, then they may be like, that's a bit dangerous. So that probably kind of like the way they will look at it. So it will depend on how your country is faring. I will do a wait and see approach, and I will upgrade to the no cancellation fee option if you have the opportunity
if
to
it's
do
not
that.
too late to do that.
Just as a security.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it may, if you want 100% sure, you may want to postpone. Casey Ryback says, good morning from the UK.
Good evening from the UK.
Good evening. Oh, sorry. Good evening from the
That's
United
very important
Kingdom.
to get that right.
My question for you guys is just how flexible the hop on hop off are. I don't drive, so I'm just curious what I can do with the bus services.
Yeah, so they are pretty flexible depending on what time of the year that you use them. In summer in New Zealand, which is between what is it? December, January and February, kind of going into March as well a little bit. Those 4 months are the busiest time of the year to travel in New Zealand. And the hop on, hop off buses, although you can still technically hop on, hop off, just waiting for the next available bus with space on it can be, pretty much a huge challenge. You can be waiting quite a long time for the next available bus with space on it to get onto. So you can't be that flexible in summer just because the buses are always so full and there's not enough space on the bus to hop back on. But traveling at other times of the year, especially in winter would be the best time to have most flexibility because pretty much you can ring up Stray or Kiwi Experience or what's the other one? Flying Kiwi only comes around once every 9 days. Yeah, you can ring up Stray or Kiwi Experience, and they'll probably have like space available for you on the next bus. But then bearing in mind, they have less regular buses. Like I think it's usually once every 2 days the buses come to the next location. So yeah, in short, basically, if you're coming to travel in New Zealand in winter, maybe around spring and autumn as well, you're more likely to have it pretty flexible. But in summer, not really.
So now, during a normal day with hop on hop off buses, right? What kind of flexibility do you have during the day? Can you do you have to do all the activities? Can you do other activities, or can you just stop along the way and be like, hey, driver, I kind of want to stop here and I want to explore a bit longer? Like, what kind of flexibility do you have during the day if you just kind of, as compared to road tripping in New Zealand?
Yeah, so when you're actually on the bus is basically you have to stick with the bus while you're in the sort of travel section of your journey. But the good thing about the buses is that they get to their destination maybe early afternoon, and then from there you're free to do whatever you want, whether it's going to do activities or going to do a few free things. But while you're on the bus kind of stops in regular intervals to show you some free activity, like just a quick lookout or a quick walk or something like that, which is definitely kind of more what you would do on a road trip if you were driving by yourself. But of course, that's up to the bus driver. It's not up to you. You can't say like, hey, bus driver, can we check that out? Like maybe you can, but I mean, it's more up to the bus driver, like where they stop, and they're kind of showing you around. But at least, yeah, you get to stop quite regularly, which is, a little bit better than if you're to take one of the intercity buses, for instance, which is just a bus from A to B. They don't stop for any sort of, looking at lookouts or any activities like that. It's just literally driving. So it's kind of like hop on, hop off. It's kind of like the flexibility is in between taking a bus and doing your own road trip.
Did you ever feel any kind of pressure when you're with such a big group of people to actually have to do the activities, pay for the activities, or any of that? Do you feel like you miss out if you don't have a substantial side budget on top of both your accommodation and your activities to actually enjoy your holiday in New Zealand?
I think, like, to start with, when you first get on the bus and you're kind of just starting to feel what it's like, you do kind of feel a little bit of pressure if you see that most of the group on the bus are going to do an activity, or there's even some activities where you stay somewhere overnight, which is different to the rest of, you have to pay extra to go stay in a Maori marae or something. Whereas on the other hand, you can just stay in a hostel in town. And you do feel like, because most people have that sort of side budget to go and do that extra activity, you kind of feel like, oh, well, you don't want to miss out because you're just trying to make friends on the bus here type thing. So, yeah, in terms of that, it's just, yeah.
Yeah. And what about accommodation? So for accommodation, there is a lot of different accommodations available in every cities and everything you go. How does it work with the hop on hop off? Is it sorted out for you? Do you have to pay extra? Can you choose any of them? Tell us a little bit about accommodation. You're about to arrive, let's say, in Rotorua, and you're in the bus and you're doing your journey to Rotorua. What happens?
Yeah. So it depends, first of all, on the destinations that you go to. The hop on, hop off buses in New Zealand, about half of them will go to main towns and cities where there's a wide variety of hostels. And then the other half of the trip will take you to more remote places where you only get one choice of accommodation. So on that latter scenario, you are only going to have that accommodation to choose from, which I think is fine because the places that they go to are exceptional. It's off the beaten track. That's kind of like what you want to be in New Zealand for. But in theory, when you're going to the cities and towns where there's multiple accommodation, you can choose whichever accommodation that you want to go and stay in. And some buses will drop you off at various different accommodations around the cities, depending which town or city it is. I know in Christchurch, especially, some of the accommodations are quite far apart from each other. So they will make the effort to drop people off, and you can do that. But then again, they do sort of, try and make you, or not make you, but they try and, like, obviously they strongly suggest for you to go with their suggested hostel. Obviously they have they have agreements with certain hostels as you're traveling around to go and stay in their hostel. But you can, by all means, choose a different hostel. I've done that myself. I've tried it out myself, but I always felt like it was just easier to stick with the group, go to the hostel that the bus suggests, and at least they have different upgrades. If you don't feel comfortable staying in a dorm for whatever reason, then they do have like private room options and stuff like that. So yeah, you kind of just, in terms of basically in terms of flexibility of accommodation, in theory, you have the flexibility, but you kind of feel like it's just made easier for you if you just stick with the bus and stay with their accommodation that they suggest.
Also for the social aspect as well, you probably make some friends along the way in the bus, and they really bank on that because, you know, if your friend decides to do the activities or if your friend decides to stay in the suggested accommodation, you're likely to want to stay with your friend. So in that way, the flexibility is available, but it is kind of, and it's a weird way to say it, but it's socially removed from you, which is fine. But you know, you kind of want to keep that in mind when traveling. And finally, about prices, just want to mention that those kind of passes are always on special, so never feel pressure to buy a pass. If that's the pass that you want, it will be on special again and again and again and again. So don't feel there is a big fear of missing out, and that's really how they bank on that. So don't feel pressure that you have to purchase something right here, right now. There is always special deal, and the best deals usually are in winter New Zealand time, which is
that is between June and August.
All right, so that's usually the month when you're going to get the best deal. And because the passes are valid for 12 months, usually it's better to buy them in winter and then to go on. You won't be able to resell your pass to another passenger at the end of your trip, or if you are canceling your trip. So just be aware of that as well. But yeah, that's to give you a bit of info.
I was just going to say, we also have an article on nzpocketguide.com, which actually gives some tips on how to get the cheapest possible bus pass. And we do have lots of what we think are pretty good tips on there. We did spend, when we first arrived in New Zealand, we did spend a lot of time sort of, going on these buses, researching more about them, comparing them. So we kind of learned quite a lot about those buses. So definitely check out some of our articles on nzpocketguide.com in the transport section. Under
so
bus,
prepare your trip, transportation, and then the bus, you have ton of articles. You even have like a comparison of Kiwi experience and Stray. We actually even have that on video here on this channel as well to help you out. So yeah. And if you find this video useful, guys, make sure to hit like and subscribe. It's always a free way for you guys to say thank you for all our hard work. All right, Casey, I really hope that answered your question. I think we went quite in depth, but if there is any follow-up, go for it. And it looks like there is the live chat is overtaken by Kiwis, which is awesome. We have Clay, Joshua. We even have Tracy, Paul. There is quite a lot of Kiwis on board, which is awesome. It looks like since there is international travel is a little bit restricted right now, it's like the perfect time for you guys to explore your own country. So if you do have some questions on two foreigners that decided to expatriate themselves to New Zealand, and things to see and who you're traveling with, tell us if you're traveling with families and everything, and we're super happy to help and answer your question. Anyway, I'm gonna read every comment. Clay says, morning guys, I hope all is well. Looking forward to Tuesday, or not much change for you guys. For us, it won't be really much change because, it's still on Tuesday. You still have to stay within reasonably your bubble, and it doesn't really change our work as for right now, because our next work was actually taking us in a plane and to other parts of both New Zealand and the South Pacific. So we won't be able to do that right now. But yeah, how's the kids going? And also, are you actually getting back to work on Tuesday? Okay, you were kind of at work already. Like, you spend so much time doing plumbing on Sundays.
Yeah. I was going to say, the one thing we are looking forward to is the fact that you can start ordering stuff online from Tuesday. So we're getting ourselves a Nintendo Switch.
We're getting ourselves a bit more video games right here. Cool. Joshua says, I'm not the only one living in New Zealand. Hell no, we're living here too. Clay's here as well. Who else is there? I've seen some of Tracy. I'm going to get to her in a minute.
Taluta.
Oh, Extreme Talota. Look at that. I think they are in Tokoroa, actually, so they're not too far as well. All right, so Joshua says it's 8:05. No, you're wrong. It's 8:20, but it's just because I'm slow at reading the comments.
It took you 15 minutes to get to that comment, Robin.
Christine Martini. Aloha. How are you doing in Hawaii? Thank you very much for popping in. So she says, how's the weather here right now? Actually, you know what? It's really cold because it's coming to winter. We're in autumn right now. So there's a bit of wind that makes everything feel a little bit colder. But we have had, let's say the last couple of days, absolutely stellar weather.
Yeah.
And right now the weather is crystal clear, super blue,
super
not a
blue
single cloud.
skies. With the autumn trees doing their thing, which is quite pretty.
So we may have to go on a little walk within obviously the realm of what is available to us, but we have to go on a little stroll. It's absolutely fantastic. Extreme Tolota said, Morena, guys.
Morena.
If you are watching and you're not from New Zealand, Morena means good morning in Maori, which is the local indigenous culture here in New Zealand. Thomas says, je viendrai quand on pourra bouger. J'ai un beau-frère qui habite près de chez vous. He says he'll come to probably New Zealand when you can travel a little bit more. He has a brother-in-law that lives nearby New Zealand.
Nice. You should be a translator, Robin.
Yeah, crazy, right? Steve K says, thank you for the information. Very happy to help you, Steve. Hopefully we're wrong, right? I mean, all we want right here when we say like, oh, you know, I don't think the border are going to reopen, all of that. We just want to be wrong, right? We want people to come and travel New Zealand as soon as possible. We just very, you know, we rather have a cautious approach on the advice that we give you. And if anything, you'll come to us and say, you know what? Awesome, I can travel to New Zealand. You were wrong, booyah. And I'd be so happy. Booyah, you were wrong, Robin. I just want you guys to come and tell me how wrong I am a bit later. That's awesome. La says, hello again. Wanted to travel New Zealand between December to February. I guess I'd skip it. Too much risk to book a holiday right now, but thanks for your help. By the way, I am not. Well, here you go. Now now I know that La is a guy. Hey, bro. Awesome. So when are you postponing your trip to New Zealand? Are you going to come maybe like, you know, a few months later, or are you just postponing it an entire year?
I guess it's sort of easier to know, like, once you know when you can actually travel again, you can be like, okay, this is when I'm going to actually go. I mean, we also know the frustration ourselves. Like, we feel like every time we want to plan something at the moment, we feel like we can't, everything has to be put on hold. We can't make any plans at the moment, which is kind of like, it's a little bit of a weird situation. We like to overplan things, but
can't overplan right now. All right, Tracy Baker says, I'm another Kiwi from New Zealand. Time to travel my own country and looking for tips.
Cool.
You're gonna love it. Ask us questions. We're here to help, or watch some videos on the channel. If I can give you a tip, one of the thing which is the most popular on this channel is there is a playlist called New Zealand's Biggest Gap Year. And that's when Laura and I, we did a bit of a challenge that we tackled 365 activities in 365 days in New Zealand. So we took a whole year, and every day we did different activities. Some of them are paid, like skydive, caving, bungee jump, and all that. And some of them are just a nice little walk around. So you can watch this web series. You have, if you have plenty of time right now. It's a little bit cringy, like it's just our first time on camera and everything. But if you forgive us for that, you may see quite a few places that you may not have known. And it's pretty cool. There is a bit more than 365 videos. There is about like 400 videos, but they're quite short. They're like under 10 minutes each. Some of them are like a handful of them are more than 10 minutes, but it's about that. And you can watch like a lot of different places. So we started in Auckland, and we kind of did a loop all around both North Island and South Island, and we include Stewart Island as well. So it's a good place to kind of see like some regions, because you will understand the region even better, because every time you kind of know where we start, where we are, rather than, a lot of tourists are a little bit more lost about where is everything. But you, with your inside knowledge of New Zealand's, geography, you'll be able to know much more which kind of region you'll feel more exploring. But aside from that, if you do have any questions, hit us away. We're here to help. And there is also a great website called www.nzpocketguide.com, which is the website that we write together. And it's free to use. And it's actually the largest travel guide to New Zealand. So if you want to check it out, there is all our knowledge that we just dump on here with all our recommendations. So it's quite cool. But we're here to help, Tracy. So fire questions. Arjot says, what do you think when immigration will start processing files? So there's different levels in New Zealand for the lockdown, and we actually are moving to lockdown level 3 on Tuesday. At that point, there's going to be a little bit more work done, but that's still going to be way below the previous workload. So we don't expect any kind of getting back to normal, because they're also going to have to catch up with all the work that was missed, right? So between all the catch up and going back to normal, Immigration New Zealand going back to normal time, we think is going to take a year. But that's, again, just our opinion. So you ask us what we think. Again, it's not official, and we always make sure to tell you guys when we say something not official, and we just give our opinion. But we think Immigration New Zealand getting back to normal is about a year. Do you agree with that, Tom? Okay. Christine says April versus March in New Zealand. Unfortunately, our vacation was cancelled for this month, but I have until next year, March 2021, to postpone our RV. Is there much difference between both months? April versus March.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of how busy the country is, March is always feels it does feel a lot busier than April. Usually, like, March is sort of the end of the summer season, the end of the high season, when camper vans will, like, the price of RVs and stuff will be probably still pretty high, but the prices and the amount of tourists in New Zealand does start to go down, especially towards the end of March going into April. So in terms of how busy the country feels, April is probably a better time to come. In terms of weather, it's a bit warmer in March. Still pretty much feels like summer in March. So if you're looking for nice, like, probably the best possible weather between the 2 months, you're more likely to get it in March. But I mean, that's saying that April's still usually pretty good weather. That it's just more likely to have maybe a little bit more rain. The temperatures will start to drop slightly, but the difference isn't huge. But March is gonna have better weather probably. And what other things to compare?
Prices are about the same in April and March.
Well, I was going to say, just for RVs and stuff, that I think that the prices are higher in March than they are in April, because April's going into the shoulder season.
Yeah, but I don't think the difference is crazy.
It's not.
No, I think I agree with you.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Hope that answers your question.
Paul Ford Paramio says, "Hi, just tuned. I know you may be tired of this question and maybe are tired of answering, but update on the New Zealand border. We have booked a trip on October. Thanks. Love your work." No problem. I'm happy to repeat myself. Seriously, no issue at all. So about 5 or 6 hours ago, we did publish a full video, about 17 minutes, with the latest Immigration New Zealand update. So there's all the information right here. But as far as we can speculate, and that's just speculation right here, at least 3 months of full border closure, probably longer for now. So October, we will suggest a wait and see approach, meaning that you kind of just wait and see what changes before you actually, get on with your booking. Yeah, I mean, if you said you've already booked your trip for October, then at least, you keep an eye on things. But if you haven't booked yet, I wouldn't start booking for October now. Yeah. Michael Mayano, aloha. Hey, how are you doing? Aloha. That's been a while. You've been away. Where have you been? Missed you guys. Yeah, that's been a long time. You haven't. Actually, that's make me think of something. Christine, you're from Hawaii, and Michael, you're from Hawaii. Can you guys flick me a message on Facebook, just so we can start a dialogue? We just want to talk to both of you guys just about maybe a project that we have, maybe not. But if you guys can flick us a message on Facebook, because we can find you, but you can find us easily. It's nzpocketguy.com. If you guys would be cool to just flick us a message, we'd love to talk with you guys. That's just complete side notes, but anyway, we're doing well. I hope you're doing well too, Michael. Casey say, thank you so much, guys. You covered so much. No worries. Again, if you check the website as well, nzpocketguy.com, you'll find so much more information. But we are happy to answer any questions. Extreme Talota say, hey, bro, how did your tattoo go? I watched it the other day. So as part of New Zealand's biggest gap year, at one point, one of the activity was a celebratory... Don't tell people. Some people may not have seen it. Maybe. Spoiler. So one of our activity that may or not be the last one, maybe, is to get a tattoo. And with that, we actually consulted with a Maori artist and did all that. And so, yeah, there's a full video of us being tortured to death by a Maori artist. I still hate the guy. No, it was fine. It went really well. We obviously still have them.
They were gone. Permanent, yes.
Yeah, they're a permanent thing. No, it kind of went well. I was actually quite surprised. Like people do make a big deal of like all the maintenance that you have to do after the tattoo. You have the cream, you have to cover it after the shower and everything. While you take the shower and everything. But I think it went all right. I felt like it was much less of a big deal than I thought it would be. Like you need to put the cream and this and that. It was a bit sore for like a couple of days, but then you be a bit careful for about a week, and then you're good with it.
Yeah,
I felt like like how you think about it before, like the overthinking was way greater than what it actually is.
Yeah.
But I love the design that you came up with.
Yeah.
What did you think about the design and the train of thought behind them? Did you like them?
Yeah. The biggest thing we took away from that, I know I don't want to spoil anything by saying we got it toward the end of our trip, but I think that's the best way if you are traveling to New Zealand and you do want to get a tattoo, which a lot of people do. It's definitely better to wait until pretty much the last day of your trip so that when you get home, you can actually, you're not going to do any crazy activities. You're not going to be going in water and stuff or putting on any equipment like wetsuits and things that are going to rub against the tattoo because, you need to basically look after that area of your skin really well. Because after you get a new tattoo, it can actually rub off if you don't look after it. So, that's like the thing that we sort of took away from that, like to tell to other travelers is definitely make sure you get it toward the end of your trip because, you might end up not being able to do quite a few activities if you get it too early on. Little tip for you.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing. Don't get a tattoo just before you're about to go on a week-long surf lesson. That would be a bit silly.
Yes.
But I'd like to get your take on the design, Extreme Talota. I just, it's always cool to know what people think.
Siyoung.
Yeah. Siyoung. How do you know to say that? How do you say that?
I don't know. Okay. I'm just guessing. I'm
just
reading and hoping that's right.
Hopefully I'm going to pronounce your name well. But Siyoung J Park says, I postponed my trip for a whole year because of this crazy current event. So excited to visit New Zealand and wake up at 5 a.m. this morning. Ooh. Good morning, guys from Seoul. Hey, how are you doing? It's 5 a.m. Did you wake up to talk to us? I am so thankful. 5 a.m. is way too early. But
earlier than 1:30 a.m. that India has to get up.
That's true. But no, because 1:30 a.m. you just don't go to bed.
Oh yeah.
5 a.m. you've got to wake up. You don't stay awake to go to 5 a.m. So I think you're the real hero right here, Siyoung. How long were you planning to spend in New Zealand? And do you already have kind of your whole itinerary or not? Or did you pick one of the itinerary that we have on the website that we kind of suggest? Or
do you know what you want to do in New Zealand?
What's the plan?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So Alex says, I was in New Zealand in December, and I must say your video helped a lot. Most beautiful country. Our favorite was North and both islands. Keep safe. Greeting from Sweden. Hey, cool. Alex, what time is it in Sweden? I feel like everybody's from around the world right here. It's awesome.
Yeah. I'm actually interested to see that you prefer the North between the both islands. A lot of people, I think most people that always say like, oh yeah, the South Islands was
because
better,
in the South Island you see a lot of fjords like Milford Sound and everything. But I'm pretty sure, Alex, you have a few fjord and two in Sweden, I guess, but you have less volcanoes.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, true. But that's cool. Will you come back to New Zealand, Alex, or did you? Was it just like the one trip off and that was it? Michael Marino, sure, no problem. Thank you very much, mate. Cool. And Christine as well. She says, sure, but I don't have Facebook. So your husband, good on you for not having Facebook. I have to say, our personal Facebook account are absolutely dead. We do nothing on it. We just post on the on the Facebook page of NZ Pocket Guide, and that's it. We're not really social media kind of people. I spend a lot of time on Reddit personally, but I don't really. It's a social media, but it's different. Joshua says, are there any cool places with penguins in the Northern End? I'd love to see them after the lockdown. Joshua, were you not asking about fur seals last week? You're all about the animals.
Want to see all those sort of Arctic-like animals.
Is there any places to see the penguins in the Northern End?
Yes,
really?
little blue penguins you can see actually in the Hauraki Gulf.
Oh yeah, that's true actually.
Yeah,
but that's
so
really
it's
rare,
quite it's quite hard to see them in the North Island, but some of the sort of outer islands of Auckland, like Tiri Tiri Matangi Island, I think they have some sort of nesting boxes for little blue penguins. So I mean, yeah, I'm not sure if they're seasonal over there. They might be only just going up to that area in winter, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, little blue penguins, you can see them in the Auckland Hauraki Gulf. I think, I mean, we've seen them on rare occasions, sort of on boat trips when you go around the North Island. And
there's some in near Wellington as well. But I feel like, sorry, it's not. Yeah, Joshua. Yeah. So Joshua, when he's asking that, I think he wants to go to a place where he's kind of almost sure to see them. And I think that the answer for that is just no. You won't be able to see them in the North Island. You have to go on the South Island where there are some bigger colonies where they have bigger nesting ground and where you actually can see them.
Yeah, I think you would just be building yourself up for disappointment to try and go somewhere
to
see that on the North Island. Yeah.
So that's I think that's you have to be on the South Island to see penguins almost for sure. All right, what is Clay saying? Clay say, I'm looking forward to the warehouse and Bunnings opening online. So if you guys don't know, if you're not from New Zealand, the warehouse is kind of like a major chain of like kind of convenience stores and everything. If you're in North America, that would be the equivalent of like Kmart. If you're in the UK, what would be the equivalent?
What's it called? I've forgotten what it's called.
Hey, you go that. And Bunnings,
Wilkinson's.
Okay, and if Bunnings is kind of like a more like a hardware kind of store, so that would be a Home Depot in North America. That would be, I don't know, in France, I think Castorama. I think what do you have in the UK?
B&Q.
There you go. So that would be kind of like those equivalents. So basically, Clay wants to do a bit of DIY around the house. And he says he's been working on call out for the hospital, so only urgent job and working from home. How do you do plumbing from home? Do you make a water fountain in your kitchen?
That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty awesome. All right, Paul Ford says, thanks. We booked a long time ago, a fly, van, etc. And I saw your video of the borders. But I just want to know as much info as I can. I contacted with my embassy there too. The airline companies say they are still not canceling any travel in October, so we are a bit scared. I feel that airlines will only start canceling at the beginning of every month,
Yeah.
And the same for us. We do have some flight booked. We have both national and international flight booked for a few months, and we don't have just one, and none of them have been canceled yet, despite one of them being in 3 weeks. We're not stressing at all, as you can see, but we know that they are under a lot of work pressure, so they will get to it when they get to it. And if it's safe to fly there, they will. But if people actually can take a holiday, they will. But they will give you the opportunity to cancel on time. I'm not too stressed about it.
Yeah.
So if I can just relieve a little bit of stress, we're in the same situation, but we're not stressing too much about it. Yuan Lim says, missing New Zealand so much. All the video helped me so much. You're very welcome. What did you come to do in New Zealand? You just travel, or did you work and travel? What was the plan? Give us context.
Yeah.
Alex says it's 10:30 in Sweden right now, and he didn't do both. He just did north.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to come back to do South Island, right? Extreme Tolata says, it's pretty cool. You gave me a good idea of doing another Maori design. I do my design custom made by myself. Oh, that's
nice.
Awesome. That's really cool. You should send us on Facebook like one or two of those, like on the NZ Pocket Guide page. Just send us some pictures. Paul for Paramio says, we are in Spain, by the way. Oh, wow, that's cool. Your video will help us plan our travel there. I hope we can go. Fingers crossed. And otherwise, that's the thing as well. Like, if your flight is canceled, usually it's not canceled, the airline, and this is to best interest of everyone, is to postpone everything. And every company we know in New Zealand are being super flexible to try to kind of help everyone and kind of, help with postponing in a much easier way rather than canceling. So if you're not going, in October, maybe it'd be perfect time for you to go in March or if you can work, obviously, your time off that way. So it may not be canceled. It may just be postponed. Keep the spirit alive.
Yeah. And remember, good things come to those who wait.
Wow. Okay.
If there's anything to make, I don't know, just trying to make people feel better here.
That's Laura insightful thought of the day. Don't forget also, early birds get the worm. That's for.
I'm not sure if that applies.
that's for Shuan, which is waking up at 5 a.m.
Oh, yeah,
I'm here
that's
for
true.
you. All right. Noe Arellano says, hey, I'm from Mexico, and I'm working out all the information from your channel about working holiday visa. I hope to stay in contact soon. Awesome.
Cool.
Nice. Best of luck with that. Hopefully you get and enjoy a working holiday in New Zealand really soon. Joshua says, thanks for answering my question. You're very welcome. We're here for that. You know that. Alexis says, I was never in the south part because of similar nature in Sweden. Ooh, I had the right idea.
Yeah.
But we don't have what you have in the north. We will most certainly come back when this
Stuff is over. We can't say that on YouTube.
Yeah. Really? What? I mean, technically we could, but then YouTube would be grunting and sending us messages on saying, like, you can't say this. So, yeah, we could say it, but it's not the right thing to say. Okay, Sean says, no final plans yet, but I'm planning to spend a whole year in New Zealand just to completely experience the culture.
That's a good way to go about it. Yeah.
By the way, guys, do you have more information on the cancellation of working holiday visa when will it reopen? So we actually did release a video about 5 hours ago in which we gave all the immigration update that we got. So far, there is not going to be anyone that's going to come in New Zealand in the next 3 months. That's almost for sure. And we speculate that it may take a little bit longer, and Immigration New Zealand will get back to full speed. And we think it's going to take them 1 year because they have a huge backlog of things to treat in the meantime. So I think it will be quite considerably delayed. I don't know if it's going to be cancelled, but if you go on the Immigration New Zealand website and you look at the key updates, you click on the big red bar that is on top that says, oh, some craziness is happening. And you click on there, and then there is a tab saying key update, and there is actually a section about the working holiday visa. So you can read that and you know where they are at the moment. And as soon as we get more information, we will do a video on the channel. But so far, it doesn't look so good.
Yeah.
Yuyan says he went on the South Island. Awesome. He did Nevis bunging. He went foraging for cockles and power and skydive in Wanaka at 16 feet. Awesome.
16,000 feet.
I guess. 16,000 feet. I jumped from the ledge.
Yeah.
Nice. It looks like you had a blast there. The skydive in Wanaka, did you do it like early morning? We have a video of us doing it really early morning with the sunrise. It's absolutely beautiful. I just love skydiving in Wanaka. What is Clay saying? Clay says, no, I'm actually the manager and the hospital has limited the trade staff. So only have one guy on site and I'm taking one for the team and doing after-hour calls. Oh, okay. So you're not creating a water fountain in your living room.
Well, that destroys that image.
Yeah, honestly, I don't... sometimes I'd rather you lie to me and you tell me you have a beautiful water sculpture in your living room. That would just make my day, The truth sometimes can be so boring. Joshua says, when it comes to marine wildlife, which island would you recommend? I want to try to keep the trip cheap. I think marine wildlife, for me, I think it has to be the South Island. Between so many different types of dolphins. You have the spinner dolphin in Kaikoura. You have the...
No, you don't.
No, what's the name
Dusky
of
dolphins.
Dusky dolphins. The dusky dolphin in Kaikoura. You have the little Maori dolphins in Akaroa. You also
Hector's dolphins.
Hector's.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to talk about it? Okay, talk about it. I got all the name member jumble. What's the difference between Maui dolphin and the Hector dolphin? By the way?
Hector's dolphins are smallest species of dolphins in the world. And Maui dolphins are basically kind of like a subspecies of the Hector's dolphins, but they're very, very rare. If you see one, you have to contact the Department of Conservation in New Zealand because there's so little numbers of them. They're really trying hard to preserve them.
So I was only half wrong.
Yeah.
This is a subspecies. Anyway, so marine wildlife, I think South Island is the best because dolphins, a lot of different ones. Whales, a lot of different ones. Seals,
the New Zealand fur seals are in a lot of places, and you can see New Zealand fur seals for free. You can see New Zealand sea lions for free, especially on beaches in the Catlins. Just thinking about because you wanted to keep things to on the cheap. But in terms of other wildlife, it would be better to take tours to see, obviously to see dolphins, because you can go swim with dolphins in Akaroa and Kaikoura. For whales, you need to go on a tour to see whales because they're a little bit far from shore. Best place to go would be Kaikoura. And
also, it looks like you're interested in seeing penguins as well. And I feel like you're going to have more chances to see penguins, especially around the area of Dunedin, where you'll be able to see both the little blue penguins as well as the yellow-eyed penguins, all in one area. So I feel like from what we've gathered from all your questions, Joshua, it looks like you are very much into wildlife. And I feel like you will get more of a fix in the South Island than in the North Island.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
What she says. All right. Alex says, what? You can't even say the S word. Who decides that? Google. Google decides a lot of your life. And Google decide that you can't say that. But yeah, fun.
I mean, we can say that. It just means that you
get warnings and everything.
You get warnings on your channel and stuff like that.
Cheryl says, thank you. You're very welcome. And yeah, any questions? Go ahead. Yuyan says, same morning. Talking about the skydiving in Wanaka, say same. So did it in the morning, but I was really scared. I nearly vomit.
Wow.
Oh my God. You should see the video of me trying to do bungee jumping. It's pretty hilarious. I passed out. but for skydiving, weirdly enough, right? For skydiving, I'm not scared. I love skydiving. I'm not scared at all for skydiving, but I think it comes from the fact that someone else is pushing me out of a plane and I don't have a choice. If I have to do it myself, I have self-preservation. I'm not crazy, all right? But that guy is pushing me away. And also I feel like the height, I don't think my brain comprehends the height.
Yeah.
My brain doesn't understand where we are.
But bungee jumping is a whole new level of scariness.
Yeah.
Because when you can see the depths of where you're falling to and you're free falling and you have to have your own self-will to chuck yourself over that ledge, that is a whole new level of scary.
Yeah. But Yuyan, I think you mentioned you did the Nevis bungee. How did that work? If you were scared of the skydiving, didn't you get super more scared of the bungee?
Yeah.
All right. I want to know that. Joshua say thank you. I don't know why. Yeah, because we talked about the South Island, but you're very welcome. Clay say, I tried the inside water feature, but wife canceled that pretty fast because it would be loves the kid. Party pooper. You know what? Having a dad which is a plumber, you may just do them a whole water park in the backyard. The kids know a lot, just love it. Leo Toledo, hey, welcome back. That's been a while. Hi guys, one day I will understand your accent. Congratulations on the site NZ Pocket Guides.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Is my accent too? Is it because I speak too fast? You guys should tell me when I speak too fast. Just tell me to slow down.
Slow down.
Yeah,
capital letters like slow down.
You guys go crazy. Robin, slow down. we want to take information in. We can't just be like, what? You have to tell us.
Yeah.
And I understand, like, I mean, a lot of the questions going on right now is really about, like, when can I travel? And it's the question probably all around the world right now. Like, when is that happening? And I think that, although it's frustrating right now that you can't just hop on the plane and come and take the best holiday in the world in New Zealand right now, I think that it's sometimes for the best because I think it forces everyone to plan their trip because you want to dream about it. It's human. You want to dream. You want to take the time to dream about it. So everybody will have a really, really well-planned trip. And I personally believe that the next wave of people that's going to come and travel the world, and especially New Zealand, are going to be the people that are going to make the most out of their holiday in decades, because you just never have time to plan your trip. You never want to plan your trip, and you never have the resources to plan your trip. But nowadays you get so much information, both online and on written on website and on videos and everything, and you have the time to plan your trip. So everybody will absolutely get what they want out of their trip, and I think it's a blessing in disguise, because rather than taking a trip in New Zealand where you get back home, you're like, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. So you have had the time to find a channel like ours. We're a pretty small channel on YouTube, and you actually figured, you find us out. Our website is bigger, but same thing, you have to search to find nzpocketguide.com and find all our information. But now you have had time to find it and time to read it and do all your research. And so I think that you are actually genuinely going to make the most out of your trip in New Zealand. So Yes, it's a bit frustrating not to be able to travel right now, but that means that you're going to travel better later, in my opinion. So I just want to put some bright light out there.
Yeah.
Just
mean,
saying.
maybe that's a little more helpful than good things come to those who wait, but yeah.
I'm sorry. Should I just say a random sentence?
Yeah.
Christine says, can you still see baby seals in Oahu waterfall in Kura? And when is the best time to see them?
Oh, we don't want to break it to you.
We got a bad news for you.
So Kaikoura had an earthquake maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and it was pretty huge. And yeah, it pretty much wiped out that whole waterfall area because it was on the cliffside. No, it's quite close to the ocean. It was on the cliffs, and that whole area got wiped out. So you can't go there anymore. It just doesn't exist, and yeah, it's pretty sad. But yeah, I mean, you can still might be able to see baby seals elsewhere in New Zealand. I think one of the best places to go to would be in Dunedin. Go to the Otago Peninsula. Because seals will, when they will have their seal pups and stuff, they usually try to go to areas, a little out the way, where people can't really get to. Usually kind of like, it's a bit harder to find those areas. But if you go on something called the Elm Wildlife Tour, they take you to a private conservation area where when we actually went there, we got to see seal pups sort of in the pools on the coast. And you see them from like a safe distance away, so you can just watch them. And that would probably be the best place to go now. In terms of the best time to go and see them, I'm not 100% sure. I would have to look that one up, but I think it's around October, November that you can see seal pups. But I'm not 100% sure. I might need to Google that one.
I personally find seal themselves even cuter than pups, to be honest, because I find like pups, their eyes are a little too big for me.
Freakishly big.
It's a little bit.
I think seal pups are cute. Are very cute.
Oh, I'm not saying they're ugly, right? But they're cute. But I think I like seals. Like, I'm really happy with seals. So I personally think that you should go to New Zealand when it works for you. And if you just see seal, you're still going to see some of the most cute animals, marine mammals in the world. And if I can recommend Kaikoura, nonetheless, despite the fact that you can go to Oho, you can do seal swimming actually, and it is one of my favorite activities to do in New Zealand. You should check out the video of us doing that, and it's just seal extravaganza. I think I made this video a little too long because I just love the seal too much, so I just put every shot we had of those seals. They're fantastic, but yeah, it's a really, really, really fun video. So yeah. So seal swimming, you just type that on YouTube and you'll find that. Juan Ricardo says, hey guys, do you have a recommendation for motorbike touring? Is it better to start on North Island or South Island? I think the one company that does that actually get you to only start in Auckland. So I think you will have to start on the North Island. This is not something which is very common in New Zealand, just so you're aware. And so there is some information on that on nzpocketguide.com. So if you head to nzpocketguide.com, you'll be able to find out some information there. But not really that common in New Zealand, and the roads are not perfect and everything like that. So I don't know. I will stick to a car personally if that was me. But it's up to you. Whatever
floats your boat.
There you go. Laura is here for all
those phrases and general sayings. I'm your girl.
What's going on with you today? All right. Leo says in Brazil we're used to the American accents. Sorry, I'll try to put an American accent, mate. Oh no, that was Australian. What was it? I don't know what I was. No, that didn't work.
Try French Canadian. Bonjour.
Is that French Canadian?
I don't know. That's what I just imagine that French Canadian sounds like.
Oh my god. Incorrigible today. We are incorrigible. All right. Yuyan says he nearly backed out of the bungee when he was at the edge, but the person was like, your girlfriend is looking at you.
Oh, well.
My girlfriend was looking at me and I still passed out.
He has no shame.
No shame. Sean says, out of topic questions, but when getting a bank account, you use the hotel address, or is it only available on Airbnb and guest house? So you will need a proof of address. So usually a hotel don't really do that, but hostels, which are like kind of backpacker style, they will actually give you a letter proof of address, and then you can use this address right here. You can also use the Airbnb, but it will depend on which Airbnb and the flexibility of the host and everything. So your best bet is always the hostels, because they have a process in place to help you do that.
Yeah. And especially in the main arrival cities of New Zealand. So hostels in Auckland or hostels in Christchurch will be very, they have a lot of people coming into New Zealand on a working holiday visa that need to open a bank account. So they're very, very used to people asking for their address as a proof of address. So they're usually a good place to start because, like Robin says, they'll have a process for doing that.
JT23 say, hey guys, hi from the Netherlands. How are you doing?
Hey.
Are you currently wearing clogs or not? I will have something to say about every country today.
Stereotyping every country.
Are you looking at your windmill while wearing your clogs in your tulip field?
I'm watching your tulips grow.
He said, is it fine to travel without a car and rely on public transport?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, so we actually talk, if you rewind a little bit the video, actually, we had a question today about hop on, hop off buses, which are kind of a mix in between tour buses and just network buses. And they allow you to kind of travel along and do activities and be with a group of mates, but also have the flexibility to stay as long as you want in some places. So there could be a good mix in between that as well. So you get basically different options. You can get a network buses, you can fly around if you want to, you can take the hop on hop off style buses, or you can drive your own car. Since you don't want to drive a car, you get 3 options, but there are 3 pretty valid ones, and we go in depth in multiple videos on this channel for each of them, and we also have a lot of information about them on nzpocketguide.com. So if you go on nzpocketguide.com and then you click on prepare your trip and then transportation, there we've got so many articles, and we go in depth in each of the different options you have. So I will suggest you check those one out. And then if you have extra questions, we're here. I mean, you came here before, JT. We're always around. And then JT says, I'm from London. I'm a student in Netherlands, so no clogs for me. Okay, but everybody else has clogs, right?
Yeah.
Everybody else wears clogs.
Very noisy country.
Very noisy country. Christine says, phew, thanks. We had made a plan on a road trip to stop at that waterfall, that's the Oho waterfall in Kaikoura. Would have been very disappointed to have traveled all the way there and find it was gone. Well, Kaikoura would be a really good option instead. Yeah,
Kaikoura has so many other wildlife experiences that you'll definitely find something else to do there.
And then we have Joshua, which is back. Anthony, hi from California. Welcome back for another week. Thank you very much for popping in, Anthony. Christine says she sent me a message on Facebook.
Cool,
awesome, thank you very much. I'll get to that in a few hours, but I will promise get to that. Yuyan says, night guys, 5 a.m. here in Singapore. Anyway, really appreciate what to help my trip so much. You're very welcome. See you next week or the week after or whenever you feel like it is. And if a question pops in and you don't want to wake up at 5 a.m., it's okay. Just put it in the comments of any of the videos and we just pick them up from there, and we usually answer them within a week or two when we have a bit of time off during the live session right now. Okay, kia ora, Ross. Kia ora. How are you doing? And JT says, I will take a look at some articles. Awesome. Cool. Just let us know what you think. Come back the following week and just tell us, hey, I hated it. Oh, that was great. I have a follow-up question, which is constructive. And, that works as well. We like constructive stuff as well. Leo says, guys, do you ever want to go on a road trip in South America? Sorry for my English. Honestly, that sounds really fun, but right now, kind of all our travel plans are out of the window. But for kind of the videos and this channel and the website that we do and everything, we really focus on New Zealand and the South Pacific. That's really kind of the thing that we do. So if we were to do a road trip in South America, we'd just do it for the funnies. And I wouldn't mind. I really want to see Patagonia. That's on my bucket list of before you die. I definitely want to ride a horse in the Patagonia plains. Oh, I just can't wait. Joshua says, have you ever been to Rotorua in New Zealand?
What? No, I haven't. I'm going to look that place up.
Do you guys have a Reddit page as well? Says Michael. No, we don't. I just have an account, and just for my craziness, for my video game nonsense and all that. But you can have a subreddit, but I don't know if you can have a page on Reddit.
Oh, he meant Rotorua. Yes.
Oh, Rotorua.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
We thought we thought this is a whole new place. Rotoruatu sounded.
Can you have a
really
page on
cool.
Reddit? I just want to get Michael. Can you have a page on Reddit, or is it just having a subreddit?
Maybe that's just what
I think that's what you meant, right?
generally, yeah.
No, we don't have a subreddit just because we can't manage that many social media. We already don't do that great on all the other ones. We focus basically our goal, right, with everything we do is to answer people's question, right? So we go on YouTube because some people, they just don't like to read and they go to ask their question on YouTube, and that's what we do right here. Or we do a big website with all our knowledge there, because sometimes putting everything in writing allows you to actually go more in depth into each subject. And then at that point, you ask a question on Google, and then Google will give you a website. And that's usually what we do. Other than that, on social media, we're really not great. Even if you go on Facebook and everything, you'll see that, we do okay, but, that's not really, we just put a few fun thing here and there to try to interact with you guys, but that's it. But yes, that's why we don't necessarily have the whole time to have an entire subreddit and manage it, and you have to be an admin. I mean, I know I'm pretty active on Reddit on the subject of the interest that I have, and I already feel bad for all the admin. There is a lot, and every time there is a conversation, everything, you have to go through everything. I just don't have time for that. That's just the honest truth. I just don't have time for that. So yeah. Rotorua, have we ever been to Rotorua? No?
Yeah, we have been to Rotorua. We have many videos on this channel about us being in Rotorua. You just need to type on YouTube in the search bar, just type in Rotorua NZ Pocket Guide, and you'll see pretty much all our videos of all the crazy activities we've done in Rotorua and all the cool places we've been to around the area. So yeah, check it out.
So I think JT thought that was a long lost city of New Zealand.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. Actually, there is kind of a lost kind of thing in New Zealand. I used to call the White Terraces, and they're in Rotorua.
Yeah, that's true.
And they were a major attraction in the early days of tourism in New Zealand. So if you look at some of the very early advertisements for tourism in New Zealand, which were cruises that were going to Europe to go all the way to New Zealand, they used to be promoting the pink and white terraces of Rotorua. And there has been in between then and now, there has been a massive eruption, and they have been completely covered and they don't exist anymore. But there are still some really early, like black and white photos and paintings of this.
Yeah,
and that's been themed like the lost kind of
the lost
point of interest. The lost attraction of New Zealand. So there is still kind of some kind of lost.
It's now underneath a lake in Rotorua, which you can actually take a boat tour across. And they, I'm not sure if they still do this, but
they had an app.
They had an
really
app,
cool,
which was kind of like the virtual reality or augmented reality thing. So you can take your phone and look down the lake where the pink and white terraces used to be, and you can see what they used to perhaps have looked like, which is definitely an interesting way of doing it.
It's quite fascinating, actually. And even there is a few Kiwis right here from New Zealand which are watching the channel. If you guys are looking for something really unique to do in New Zealand, I think this is something absolutely unique.
So that's at Waimangu Valley at Rotorua. And,
it gives you both a historical insight and also it's a beautiful place to visit. It's really awesome. So, yeah. Here you go, Tracy. You want a travel tip? I'll just give you one. Michael was saying, he meant a subreddit, so we good. They say between.
By the way,
God, I cannot get this one. By the way, buying a Nintendo Switch is worth it. Awesome.
Yay, so, good.
What are we getting? We're getting Super Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey. No, Odyssey. What's the?
I don't know what the new one's
Mario.
called.
Anyway, the latest Mario. We're getting the Rabbids, Mario versus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. We're getting that. We're getting Diablo 3. We're really excited about playing Diablo 3 together.
Tetris 99.
Yeah, we're really into Tetris. We do like Tetris. I can't remember what else we're getting, but we're getting ourselves some
we want to get
games.
Overcooked, is it?
Yeah, Overcooked. That sounds a lot of fun.
I don't think it's on the list yet, but we want to get that.
Yeah, we want to get ourselves Overcooked just because we want to, see if our relationship is strong enough to tackle one of those kind of games.
Yeah.
So that could be quite fun. What else are we getting? I can't remember. Anyway, we have a list. Of games that we want to get. We're not here to talk video. We can talk video game for quite a while anyway, but we shouldn't. Joshua says, I live in Waihi, sorry, and there are ginormous trees across my house. Oh, that's
Cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of tree birds and wood? Do you have those crazy wood pigeons which are so clumsy on the big trees?
Yeah.
And JT say, is it okay to find work in Rotorua? Yeah, it's pretty easy. Rotorua is a great place to work with. And if you look at our the job playlist on this channel, you will see that we mention Rotorua really, really often.
Yeah.
Clay say, is there a tree adventure park or something in Rotorua, or did I imagine that?
Yeah, so there's it's more like one of those zip lining tours that you can do. I can't quite remember the name, like
EcoZip.
EcoZip, yeah, I think EcoZip in Rotorua. So it's kind of like a zip line obstacle course. So I think that's probably what you're referring to. And that's a really cool tour through the trees. They have like sort of one of the things that they have there is that they sort of show you the different native birds, and one of the native birds, North Island robin, they actually can get it to come to oh god, that was bad. You're talking about my bad jokes. Then we had the North Island robin, which comes on. They can actually make this North Island robin come onto your hand and eat food from your hand, which is pretty cool. I mean, I'm not sure if it does that all the time, but so it's very much a sort of nature tour, but with some really fun zip lines along the way.
All right, so that wraps up our live session. Thank you very much for popping in, guys. We really appreciate both your comments on our videos. Today, we actually had someone actually told us on the video that we published the music was too loud and those kind of things. So it's always helpful. All your comments, we really appreciate them a ton. And we are here every single week at 8 a.m. New Zealand time, which in your side of the world is, Laura, you do it.
Okay, so on a Saturday evening, it is in UK and France, 9 or 10 p.m. On a Saturday afternoon in the US, that is 4 p.m. EST or 1 p.m. PST. On a Sunday morning, bright and early, that is in India at 1:30 a.m. And in Australia, it's still pretty early at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning. So once again, that's New Zealand time, Sunday, 8 a.m. But we do have a link in the description below to basically the time and date website where you can just have a look at what time that will be in your country. If you just type in NZ time 8 a.m. on a Sunday, you will find it in your country using that link.
Here you go. And thank you very much for popping in again. And if you're watching that live anyway, you just pop in an hour earlier next week and then we'll be here again.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
See you next week and stay safe.